All right, so it's NBA live stream of consciousness, episode one. We're gonna be recording every day, so check us out, subscribe, take a look at the Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown episode that I just dropped, or video, excuse me, that I just dropped, explaining why I don't think they should play together. I'm gonna be dropping about two of those videos a week, and then a weekly series on who has the belt, the best players in the NBA at every position. So definitely look out for that. So definitely subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into it. A lot of stuff going on today. NBA trade deadline. We got to start with the Sacramento Kings and the Pacers. Let me first preface it by saying I live in Sacramento and I want the Kings to do well. So that's maybe part of the emotion that's coming from me. But this was just a terrible trade by the Kings. The Kings announced, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, that they were out of the Ben Simmons sweepstakes, that the Sixers were asking for unreasonable offers. And they were pivoting towards other offers. And I thought that that was just a ploy and that they were going to hang in to the very last second to try to get a player like Ben Simmons to, change their fortunes. I was someone who very publicly, between my friends and with other people, had just said that they should definitely be all in on getting Ben Simmons. They should just, rejigger the team. That this team wasn't going anywhere. Um, you could, even if it cost you Fox and Halliburton, you could potentially have a team with Ben Simmons and Davion Mitchell that was really focused on defense, and then just build out the team from there. This is a draft that has a lot of big men. So it made sense to really build those two players as your cogs of your team, and then maybe go into the draft and get another big man. But today they traded for Sabonis. I just think it's just a horrible trade. I think just as player for player, Halliburton is a better player and a more valuable player today than Sabonis. Forget the fact that he's younger. Forget the fact that he plays the guard position and Sabonis plays the big man position. Today, he's a better player. Now, let's talk about the fact that he plays the guard position and then Sabonis plays the big man position. Sabonis is a big man that doesn't defend the rim, that doesn't shoot the three, and he's a good post player, but he's not a dominant force like a Joel Embiid or even a Boogie Cousins was in his heyday. So I just don't understand why you would trade Halliburton, who's a player who wants to be there, a player who passes, who in my personal opinion, is the reason that Rashawn Holmes got played. Rashawn Holmes' blow up was his simpatico with Halliburton, the lobs and the push shot game that he was running with Halliburton. So to trade Halliburton, the guy that did that, a guy that actually wants to be in Sacramento, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it seems like from this trade and everything that's being reported, they valued Fox over Halliburton. But I mean, just naked eye test, watch Fox play. Fox doesn't pass, doesn't defend, and can't shoot. These are all three things that Halliburton does. So why would you prioritize that? Because he averages a certain amount of points. Where have you gone with that? The best that the Kings have looked in the past couple of years has been with Halliburton. So why would you move that away? And you trade your best shooter and Buddy Hield. And I know that you didn't like the Buddy Hield contract, but shooting is a premium skill in this league. Who's your where are you getting shooting from now? And it just seems like the Sacramento Kings are a team without a plan. 2 years ago, they chose Buddy Hield over Bogdanovich, and they say, hey, we're going to keep our powder dry, and we're going to not match Bogdanovich. We're going to give up an asset. The Sacramento Kings, we're going to give up an asset because we want to keep our free agency and our cap nimble. Who's coming to sign to Sacramento? Every player that you sign, you have to overpay. So why wouldn't you keep Bogdanovich as the asset and then trade him later? It just seems like from the coaching firings, from the constant moves at the GM, it just seems like this is a team without a ship, without a good captain of the ship. It just seems like they're rudderless. They're just lost at sea. And if this was a true kingdom, this would be time for the people of the kingdom to do an uprising and get the king out of here. This, Vivek, he came with a lot of fanfare. Hey, he's the one that saved the Kings in Sacramento. They play at a beautiful stadium, which is walking distance from my house. Again, I want the Kings to do well. I'm a Lakers fan, but I want the Kings to do well. It behooves me. I'm trying to get my son into hoop right now, and watching live games is good for him. But this team is terrible. It's terrible. The city is aching for this team to do well, and the team is terrible. So now you're going to run out a team with three of your core players, your four core players right now, and maybe they have trades up their sleeve, but I don't think so. Your four core players right now are Fox, who can't shoot, Mitchell, who can't shoot, Sabonis, who can't shoot, Holmes, who can't shoot, and Harrison Barnes, who can, being the fifth player. And I don't include him in the top four because they're trading him. Make it make sense. Explain it to me like I'm a fourth grader. Explain it to me like make it make sense. How does this team make sense in this NBA? What is the identity of this team? Make it make sense. Fox is a downhill player. Sabonis is a downhill player. Where's their spacing going to be? Make it make sense. This is like the clown that's in the fantasy football league that is just trading for anybody. If you have a name, I'll trade for him. It doesn't matter if Le'Veon Bell has been washed up. I remember Le'Veon Bell was high on boards years ago. So yeah, I'll trade you a good player this year for the name of Le'Veon Bell. What are you doing with Sabonis? Who was clamoring for Sabonis like this? F minus. It's a sad commentary. Kings fans, you deserve better. It's a sad commentary. I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like the coaching, again, you have Alvin Gentry, who, hey, I'm not going to take shots at him because he's the interim coach, but it doesn't seem like you're going to get any new inventive schemes from him. We know what he is. Monty McNair seems like he's a clown, the GM, and the owner has ran through more coaches and GMs than I can recall. So it's just like, I really don't know what to say for the Kings. It's sad. It's truly sad for them because I have no idea what they're doing. In regards for the Pacers, this deal is a home run. This deal is a home run. You have Brogdon, who's on a good contract, who you can trade after this year. You can't trade him this year because he's on extension, but you can trade Brogdon, and you can really hope that Halliburton finds the same simpatico with Turner that he found with Holmes. Holmes was a veteran minimum guy until this past season with the Kings. This past season, what got him paid, and that glow up was because of his relationship, him catching the lobs with him. I'm sure Turner can do that. So I think this is a home run. You can really build between those two players, and you can keep Brogdon if you want to. Brogdon has shown the ability that he'll play off the ball and have a backcourt with those two guys with the shooting and the defense, and they play well, and both of them are willing passers. But it's just my belief. I think Halliburton can be a superstar. We'll get to this in a minute with the Sixers, but I would have preferred, in my personal opinion, and I know this is counterculture, I would have preferred Halliburton over James Harden. And when you put the age factor in, you put in the defensive factor, you put in the ability to be pliable, to play on and off the ball, I would have preferred Halliburton. I think Halliburton is a superstar, can be a top 3 player at his position, can be a top 15 to 12 player in the NBA. I am sky high on Tyrese Halliburton. He's never been empowered. I think he's going to be empowered. I think Ricardo is going to love him. This is a home run trade. Home run trade. They get shooting and Buddy Hield. It's not the greatest contract, but I don't think it's a contract that anyone in the league would run from. If a team needs shooting, I don't think anyone in the league would be scared to take it on. A contending team, I don't think they would say, oh, that's just too much. So, and once again, you could keep him. it will make your team a smallish team if you run those three players out there, the Halliburton, the Brogdon together. But I love this deal for the Pacers. I think it's a home run. There's a bunch of other tertiary players. Justin Holiday was, I believe, added into this deal, but I mean, he's not the reason for the season. It's not, that doesn't change the fact that you gave away the best player, the youngest player, and the cheapest player in the deal. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Explain it to me. I just don't get it. And you're trading for Sabonis again when this draft is chock full of the Chet Holmgrens and the Paolo Prangeros and the kid from Memphis, Duran, and the kid from Auburn. This draft is chock full with bigs. This doesn't help you get into the playing game. So this draft is chock full. So if that's what you're looking for the future, the draft is chock full of bigs. Make it make sense. Why you traded a guard away? So once again, A++ for the Pacers, F- for the Kings. The Blazers trade McCollum to the Pelicans. This is an interesting trade because I think Josh Hart is a really good player. He defends. He plays a lot bigger than his size. He's around 6'3". I've seen him guard wings, rebounds. So CJ McCollum at his age, at the value that he has, putting him in the backcourt with Graham, I'm gonna zig. I know a lot of people say that the Pelicans won this trade. I think this trade was a little bit too thirsty. Now they got Larry Nance, which I think is a perfect big man to play with Zion if Zion is eventually going to come back this year. I think he fits with him perfectly. But just on the perimeter, I just don't see how you're going to defend it. If you're going all offense, Graham and CJ in the backcourt, that's just, I mean, especially in the West where you have to play Ja Morant, you have to play Donovan Mitchell, where you have to play Steph Curry, you have to play Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I mean, just to go all offense on that. Now they have this kid, Herb Jones, who everyone raves about his defense, but I think that's a tough ask to have him guard these players night in, night out as a rookie. But yeah, I'm gonna just zig where everyone zags. CJ is coming off a serious injury. I mean, he had a great start to the season, which kind of dissipated, but I don't know, just too much redundancies. I don't see him and Graham playing well together. I just don't really like this trade. I think the trade is, it's obvious that they want to go all in. I have a video that's coming out tomorrow where I actually think they should go the other way. So that's a sneak peek into that. But I don't actually really like this trade that much for the Pelicans. I do like them getting Larry Nance once again, and hey, maybe he evens this out. And CJ once again was playing really well, but just as far as shit. Everybody knows me, knows I'm clumsy. Just as far as just roster construction, I don't like it. So Levert to be with the Cavs, that trade, I think it was a solid trade for the Cavs. It just shows that the market is going to be pretty depressed if that's the best offer that they get for him. A lot of the teams that were supposed to be chasing Eric Gordon have kind of bowed out of the market as well. So that's something to look forward to. Lakers, the talk is there's not really much that could be done. Ramona Sherburne is pretty plugged in. I think she's good friends with Jeannie Buss, and she keeps saying that this is the team. So maybe she's heard that there's no trade coming, but I would seriously consider getting Wall and Gordon for THT and Westbrook. I think that trade is beneficial for both teams. I think Wall can play off the ball more. His defense, he's been a first team, I believe, all NBA defender, first or second team. So he has the defensive profile that can kind of let the Lakers skew back to what they were when they won that title, where they were a hellacious defensive team. He's a better shooter, better catch and shoot player than than Westbrook has been in his career. He's obviously more of a pass first player. I think that he would allow the team to run. He's someone that pushes the pace with the intent to make passes and score. He's a far better passer than Russell Westbrook. And I think obviously Eric Gordon would become easily, him and Malik Monk would be the best shooters on the team. The team starts to make sense with him. The reason why the Rockets would do it is I think THT, a lot of people are down on him, but I think he's playing out of his position. He reminds me of Evan Turner, who was a player who was drafted to be a shooting guard, but really thrived. His best seasons were on the Celtics, where he got to play the point guard position. I think he's a point guard at heart, which is another sad commentary on the Lakers trading for Westbrook, because I think that if you're going to invest so much into him, I think you have to understand the player that he is. And the highlights that he had were times where he was on the ball. He's a really good passer. He's long. He can defend his position. He has a really good feel for the game when the ball is in his hands. And I think he needs to be empowered with the ball in his hands. I think Houston should take a look at this. The Kevin Porter Jr. experiment at the point guard has been wildly erratic. So I think that they should get another look and see if maybe he's the point guard for the future in them. And he's a young player on a considerable deal, but not something that would blow up their cap. So I think they should definitely take a look at that. So I think they should make the trade. Will they make the trade? I don't know. It also depends on what shape Wall is in. Has he been working out? He's been known to be someone who goes in and out of shape in previous years. I don't know, with all this time off, is he going to be anywhere close to game shape? Is this going to be a situation where it's going to take him weeks to get ramped up, and because of that he might get an injury? So it would depend. I'm sure the Lakers were interested. They could get a workout and take a look and see. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. They should definitely do the trade. And then the last one is obviously the Sixers and Harden. It looks like the trade is going to happen. From everything that Brian Windhorst and other people are saying, it looks like that this is something that Harden does want, that he has intimated to other people privately that he would like to get traded. Reason being is that he didn't sign up for this. He signed up to be one of three. And, you have KD, who's injured, who's reliable, who plays, but then you have Kyrie, who does what he wants to do. 2 of the last 3 seasons, he's found a reason that he doesn't want to play basketball. He's found a reason and a cause to stand up for. And I'm not judging him for that. It's his life. You do what you want to do. But as far as analyzing basketball, 2 of the last 3 seasons, he's found reasons not to play. And what's to say, because I do think that the vaccine mandate is going to go away. You see, California is dropping their mask mandate as the weather warms up, as we see that cases are going down. I do think that New York is going to drop their vaccine mandate for indoors. So he's going to be able to play. But what's to stop him from saying, hey, there's a war in this country, and I think we should be focusing on that, so I'm not going to play. And I'm not even saying that to be funny. I'm saying that to be serious. What's to stop him from doing that? 2 out of the last 3 years, he found reasons not to play. So, in the bubble, he wasn't going to play in the bubble. He said that, you can go read the stories. He wasn't going to play. And he feels like the vaccine mandates, even though he's not against the vaccine, he needs to be a voice for the voiceless. So again, what is the next issue that he feels like he needs to be the voice for the voiceless? There's going to be another one. There's always an issue. So I think that he feels this is not what I signed up for. So I want to go to a situation, especially in the twilight of my career, where I can win. And if basketball is not the main focus here, then I want to leave. And a lot has been talked about the way that he's looked this season, but it might just be that he's been dispirited all season. It might just be that. Now, a lot of people have mentioned his weight, the lifestyle that he's lived previously is not a LeBron style lifestyle where, everything is focused and dedicated on taking care of your body. I haven't heard those stories from him, but you've seen Chris Paul go through body transformation at this point in his career and has obviously elevated his career or, had him draw out his prime and, him being an impact player. So maybe that's something James Harden can go into if he's happy with the situation that he's going to. I think Brooklyn should definitely do the deal because they need to secure an asset. With all of the pieces that they've traded away, as far as draft capital that they've traded away, all the money that they've invested in these players, traded every young asset that they have, I think they need to hold on to something. And Ben Simmons being under contract for the next 3 years is at least a valuable chip that they can hold on to. Even if they have to trade him and the situation goes south, he's a chip that can fetch you something. And I think that they can't have a situation where what happened with Boston happens again. These players age out or they leave, and then they're stuck holding the bill while another team is drafting their lottery picks. So I definitely think Brooklyn should do it. I think he fits with KD and Kyrie. My personal opinion on Ben Simmons is that he sounds like a maniac. Mental health aside, if you read that Ramona Shelburne story where he said that even though he didn't answer the Sixers calls and texts, they still should have came to see him. That just sounds like a lot of women that I dated in my past that I would not deal with now. And I don't see how an NBA team would want to deal with that. But, a lot of people are just putting this on, hey, once he gets out of Philadelphia, he'll be fine. But personally, I think he just sounds like a maniac with statements like that, statements that sound where he said he didn't blame Joel Embiid for having a bad series versus Toronto when his plus minus versus Toronto was great and he was the best player for Philadelphia in that series. He had a couple of games where he was sick, but he didn't, completely shit the bed like Ben Simmons did versus the Hawks. So I just don't see how you can say that. And it just seems like he's someone that just lacks complete self-awareness and someone that just doesn't take any responsibility for their actions. So on a personal level, I wouldn't trade for him, but Brooklyn right now, I think this is definitely ultimate crisis situation because you don't know when KD's coming back. Where there's smoke, there's fire. It looks like Harden's just not giving the effort, and it looks like he wants to get traded. He doesn't look like he wants to come out and say it himself, but he hasn't come out and said the opposite, that no, I don't want to get traded. A simple tweet would end all speculation. Dame has always said it. Beal has always said it publicly. I don't want to get traded. That's all he has to say, and he hasn't said it. So obviously he does. So I think from Brooklyn, they have to look at the perspectives that we need to secure the asset. So there's talks that the only holdup for them making the trade is that they want Steph Curry. And if I'm the Sixers, I'm holding out against that because why should we do that? He wants out. He's going to come to us anyway. You can play with fire, but if he doesn't come back or if he plays listless the way that he's been playing so far, you're not going to win the title this year and you're going to lose him for nothing next year. So it looks like the trade is going to happen. When the report first dropped from Shams, I was like, wow, I thought this wasn't even something that teams were considering, but it seems like Harden wants to play with them. So the fit with Embiid, we'll see how it works. We'll see if he's rejuvenated. He had a lot of the concerns that he has right now. People saying that he looks uninspired, he looks overweight, are the same things that people were saying when he was in Houston last year. And then he got traded to a situation that he was happy with at the time, Brooklyn, and he was immediately an MVP candidate. Immediately, people were saying, hey, I don't like what he did in Houston, but I have to vote for, we have to consider him for MVP the way that he's playing. So is it just, I get traded, immediately I get back on my health regimen and immediately I'm back to being James Harden? We'll see. But yeah, if I'm the Sixers, I'm holding out. I don't want to trade all these assets for a player who it looks like is going to sign with us in the offseason anyway. So that'll be a definitely interesting thing to see. The trade deadline has really been moving. It's been shaking. So we'll see what else shakes out. Bradley Beal got hurt today. It announced that he's having season-ending surgery. So does Washington become a player in the trade deadline? A lot of talks about Memphis becoming a player at the trade deadline. I don't think that Memphis should do anything. You don't shake up that team that loves each other, that's playing that hard together. Let them go to the playoffs, let them lose, let them see their actual flaws, and then you can have more buy-in from guys. But when you trade a team that loves playing with each other like that, there's just a sense of despair that goes over the team that you've seen from every team that really love playing with each other. And they're a young team. To tell them that this is a business and this is how it works in the NBA, you don't have a lot of guys who's been through those processes and seen those players that they love playing with get traded. I think it would be just a really big jolt to the system. I don't think they should do it. Just roll with this team, see what happens, and then whatever trade you need to make after you lose and after your warts are exposed, you could have buy-in from the players at that time. But to do it now when they're rolling, when they're beating almost everybody, I think that you'll get pushback and you'll kind of steal the spirit out of a team that really loves playing with each other. Other trade candidates, Toronto's interesting to me. They've come on 6-8-2 in their last 10. They're probably the hottest team in the league right now. They're a team that I think nobody wants to play once the playoffs start, with their ability to switch and the number of 6-8 guys that they have and how hard they play for each other. I would definitely not want to play that team. So it'll be interesting to see if they do something with Dragic's contract. That's pretty much it. I mean, what do the Kings do? Harrison Barnes is going to definitely be on the move. So who gets him? It seems like the Kings are drunk at the wheel. So I think this is the time to jump in. If I'm the Sixers, I'm trying to see, hey, what can Tobias Harris, are you guys interested? We'll throw some picks in. I think Harrison is a better player than Tobias Harris, and he makes less money. He's a better shooter, better defender of wing players, can create the off the ball more. So I would love to see that trade for them, but someone's going to get him. So it's just a matter of who. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So that's it for this episode. Definitely subscribe, tune in for other episodes. Like I said, I'm recording every day. Check out the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, why they should not play together. Let me know what you think. Leave comments. I definitely respond to all of them. The Who Has a Belt series is either going to drop tomorrow or next Wednesday, depending on if I can get something cleared. But definitely stay tuned for the content. I appreciate you rocking with me. Until next time.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, The game is a game. Always.